DJs, what's going on, guys? What is up? What a fantastic night we had last night, eh, guys? Broke new all-time high during the live stream. Let's see if we can do it again this morning. What's going on, guys? All right, so looking over at the JASMY chart, as I said earlier this morning, guys, we have broken above the 30-day SMA, which was crucial for us, okay? We've broken above it. We're above resistance here now, and we are up at, right now, 1 cent 966, trying to get back over 2 cents. It looks like we're going to be coming up on the 100-day SMA here, and see if it acts as any sort of level of resistance. For me, guys, the most baseline, basic, important thing that needs to happen on this chart today for me is this daily candle closing above, with conviction, not only above the 30-day SMA here, but also above this resistance level here, turn it into support. The reason that I say the 30-day SMA, guys, as you can plainly see, we've hit it 5 separate times, and we have rejected violently off of it, worse and worse every single time. As you can see, not so bad here, but a rejection, hit it here, rejection, hit it 3 times here, rejection, twice here, rejection, 3 times here, rejection. We're above it finally. Can we stay above it? Can we build some momentum to the upside now? My theory is yes, we can. Let's go look at what Bitcoin's doing right now, because Bitcoin is approaching its all-time high from last night. Its new all-time high, as you can see. We're just a hair above it. $75,300, guys. Can we break above it and close above it today? That's going to be about a little over 5.5 hours away for this daily close. Let's see what happens, man. Let's see what happens. Very, very exciting. Let's go have a look across the market, guys. Look at this. Look at this. Oh, doesn't that feel good on your spectacles, right? Doesn't that feel fantastic? Uniswap up almost 30%. Velodrome 22. SEI Network 13, FET 13, Ondo up 12%. I hope a lot of you guys were buying the dip through all of that downward action that we were going through, guys, because that's what we were talking about. Buying the dip, scooping up as much as possible. I hope you guys took advantage of it. I know that I sure as hell did. So things are looking fantastic. Let's go over, what do we got? JASMY up 12% on the day. BTC's up 7.6%. ETH is even up 9.1, back up over 2,600. Everything is looking nice and juicy right now. XCN up 7%. Not bad. Not too bad. All right, let's get into some of the news, guys. Let's get into some of the news. Let's check out some of the coverage, the fallout from last night. So Brad Garlinghouse tweeted out at Donald Trump, congratulations, some fodder for your first 100-day checklist to get things moving. Number 1, fire Gary Gensler day 1, no delays. Well, I mean, we're going to touch on that a little bit later, but Gary Gensler actually cannot be fired. He can, however, be demoted back down to commissioner, and someone else like Hester Pierce could be promoted to the chair of the SEC. So he can be demoted. So what I would do is I would demote him down to commissioner, and then I would add to the job description of the commissioner that you have to clean the toilets with a toothbrush. And that is what Gary Gensler would be doing until he chose to resign. Number 2, in his place, appoint Guy Carlo, Brooks, or Gallagher. They'd be massive upgrades in rebuilding the rule of law and reputation of the SEC. Host a family dinner to get the Republicans and Democrats moving in the digital asset market structure bill forward in Senate. And at last but not least, can we get some clarity similar to XRP, BTC, and Ethereum is not a security, right? Very nice from Brad Garlinghouse. All right, let's get into some of the fallout. We got quite a bit of videos to get through, guys, so let's get into some of this here. Let's see what's happening. The treasuries.
You said you are short north of 6,400, above 6,400 for the S&P, and obviously we're not there. This morning, you got another 500 points to go to get to that. You didn't think we'd be there. So you're short above 6,400 of the S&P. Are you short anything when it comes to bets in the Treasury market?
No, I'm not. You know, I retired in 2018, and I'm trying to keep my life simple. I have some health issues that basically slows me down. But no, I don't play the game as well as or as actively as I did in the past. But I would say my general view is bonds are short and stocks are fully valued and will more likely go down than up from here. And that if one was a trader, the sell strength of the opening, and that the market will be down next year. But I'm not making any big judgments at the current time. Clearly, there's a big wave of confidence. And, you know, when you think about the confidence, just think about it. 20 former members of his administration said he was unfit to be president. You know, tariff stuff, that's crazy. Think about it. Tariffs are basically a relief for labor. You're basically making companies to increase production domestically, which increases demand for labor. If you're going to limit immigration and you're going to throw a lot of people out of the country, that's going to push up inflation. So, you know, when you're betting on
if the tariffs are negotiating tactics, which is what we've heard from some people on his campaign, I guess we will see. But if the tariffs are a negotiating tool.
You heard the same thing about Kamala. I'm old-fashioned. I listen to what people say, not what they do. And basically, the idea that Kamala is not going to do anything to tax the rich, even though she spoke about that aggressively, and the fact that Trump is going to not do tariffs, you're relying on people doing the opposite of what they said they're going to do. And that's a risky proposition.
Where do you think markets would be this morning if Harris had...
Politicians have always done the opposite of what they say they're going to do. That's not a new concept.
Been elected, if she was going to do all the things that she said?
We go down 5%. You know, at the end of the day, you know, forecasts beyond the year are more about politics and economics. The country clearly spoke. They're unhappy with the current conditions, and I don't think a lot of what Trump has to do is not going to create more happiness. You know, do we have to deal with the deficit? I think so. You know, the deficit is out of control. You know, 9 years ago, Simpson Bowles came out with the report. Everybody thought it was intelligently done. Nothing was done. The problem today is 3 times greater than it was 9 years ago. So, you know, I have a conservative view. I'm happy for the country. I would be happy if Bernie Marcus was still alive. He was a good friend of mine. He passed away a couple of days ago. He was very strongly in favor of Trump. And sorry he didn't live to see Trump elected. But we lost a terrific individual. And, but, you know, I've said in the past that I think that Trump's economic ideas were superior to the Democratic Party, but his conduct was just so unconventional, so offensive that I couldn't vote for him. And that was not you know, even though I felt my pocketbook would be enriched by his being elected. I voted my values, not my pocketbook. And I did not vote. I voted strictly Republican in the House and the Senate, and I did not vote for president of either Trump or Harris. I wrote a Mitt Romney. No, he didn't have a.
It's easy to say I voted with my you know my ideals instead of my pocketbook. When you're rich, yeah, easy to say that, right? There's nothing that irks me more than wealthy people going on television and talking about how the economy is good when groceries and gas are unaffordable because it doesn't affect their pocketbook, right? Nothing irks me more than that. It drives me crazy. All right, guys, check this out. You might want to buy some Bitcoin. This was Trump at the Bitcoin conference 2024 in Nashville.
Hello, Bitcoiners. On day one, I will fire Gary Gensler. I will appoint a new SEC chairman who believes America should build the future, not block the future. Upon taking office, I will immediately appoint a Bitcoin and crypto presidential advisory council. Their task will be to design transparent regulatory guidance for the benefit of the entire industry, and they will get it done in 100 days. As part of our effort to provide regulatory clarity, we will create a framework to enable the safe and responsible expansion of stable coins. I will ensure that the future of crypto and the future of Bitcoin will be made in the USA, not driven overseas. I will support the right to self-custody. I will keep Elizabeth Warren and her goons away from your Bitcoin. It will be the policy of my administration, United States of America, to keep 100% of all the Bitcoin the U.S. government currently holds or acquires into the future. This will serve in effect as the core of the strategic national Bitcoin stockpile. Today, I repeat my pledge to commute the sentence of Ross Ulbricht to a sentence of time served. It's enough. And I will never allow the creation of a central bank digital currency. Bitcoin is going to the moon, as we say. It's going to the moon. I want America to be the nation that leads the way, and that's what's going to happen. No, you're going to be very happy with me.
Hey, make sure you subscribe.
Oh, man. Absolutely amazing, guys. Amazing things are coming. I hope you guys are excited. I hope you guys are as excited as I am. AJ Wrights Crypto says, hey, Gary Gensler, you never protected a single investor. You siphoned hundreds of millions of dollars from my friends. You regulated by enforcement. You lied to our faces. You started calling crypto projects crypto asset securities for no reason. You appealed the XRP case at the 11th hour just to waste more taxpayer dollars. You spent more time handing out unserving Wells notices and then explaining your actual position. You did all this while twisting laws from the 1930s that were put out there over oranges. On behalf of crypto Twitter everywhere, I'm just going to highlight that part for you. That feeling wrenching in your stomach, yeah, that's called uncertainty. We've been dealing with it for years. Give it time. Despite the disrespectful, you know what? I wish I could say to your face, I also want to thank you. Thank you for showing us how not to regulate crypto. Thank you for making it sparkling clear that XRP is not a security, and thank you for making it obvious that the world needs crypto needs its own damn rule book. Now take your L, go find a job. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. All right, let's get back into some more videos, some more blowback. Mike Novogratz.
We should also mention that crypto prices, they are surging right now. This after Donald Trump's electoral victory. You're looking at Bitcoin at $73,000, almost $74,000 this morning. At one point, it was, I think, even marginally higher. Want to bring in Galaxy founder and CEO Mike Novogratz. Mike, I believe that you were supporting the other candidate, but I'm curious, as you see these markets moving the way they are, what your reaction is.
Listen, it was a great night for the crypto industry, right? And if you listen to your last guest, Donald Trump, that keeps his promises. If you go back to the speech he made at Nashville to the crypto community, his agenda is very pro-crypto. J.D. Vance is pro-crypto, Peter Thiel, Howard Lutnick, Kennedy. He surrounded himself by people that believe in the industry, care about the industry. I mean, the crypto community showed up, right? There are now over 240 congressmen who, you know, the crypto pack thought were pro-crypto. And so we've got a Congress that is moving our way. We've got a president that's moving our way. And so for Galaxy, for the crypto industry, I couldn't be more optimistic.
And in terms of your optimism, it relates to the way this is going to be regulated, because now you have a bet going that there will be a Bitcoin reserve for the country? I mean, sort of
Listen, I'm not sure we end up
play
getting
out
a
the
Bitcoin.
permutations here.
I think the biggest thing is the OCC, the FDIC, the SEC, the regulatory chairs getting direction from a president and a secretary of treasury that says, hey, we want to lead in this industry. Those three positions with someone who's open-minded to crypto and who's pro-crypto changes everything. Allowing State Street and Bank of New York to custody crypto, allowing the banks to hold it on their balance sheet will bring in billions, hundreds of billions of participants into our ecosystem. And all of a sudden we'll start seeing decentralized systems launched and work. And so this is really a step change shift. Now, it's not going to happen overnight, right? You don't get a new SEC chair in a week. But over the next 1, 2, 3, 6 months, as these new people are put in these positions, I think you're going to see a substantial shift in the energy of this industry.
Mike, to the extent you want to throw out some names, who do you think might be up for this SEC role? I know we've had a lot of names thrown around for the Treasury Secretary role. We just talked to Scott Bessent, and we had John Paulson on the program earlier this week. Those are two names that have been floated for that role. We also have had Jay Clayton and others. Who do you think would be the right person to run the SEC under a second Trump administration?
Listen, Hester Pierce has been there, and they call her crypto mom. And I know she's probably throwing her name in the hat. The chief legal officer at Robinhood has been thrown in. I'm not sure the exact person matters as long as they're very open-minded to this industry. And I think there's just no way Trump's not going to pick someone who, listen, right. He's launched his own coin. And so, his family is engaged, he's engaged. And so I just think it's hard to you got to wake up and slap yourself in the face. We have gone 4 years of a very, very difficult regulatory environment, and that's all about to change.
Right.
Yeah, guys. The golden age of crypto is upon us. Make no mistake about it. If you are still sitting on the sidelines right now, the boats are leaving. I would say it might not be a bad idea to jump on before you're left behind. All right, even more blowback, guys. We got a lot of videos to go through today, so buckle in, guys. Trump campaign surrogate says Trump's win is a signal that the people in America really want to get back to basics.
Meantime, joining us right now to discuss all this, former Georgia senator and Trump campaign surrogate David Perdue. He's also the former CEO of Reebok and Dollar General. Good morning to you. We've been trying to just make sense of what this means, what may very well be a red sweep across the country. David, we don't know that part yet, but your initial reactions to all of it.
Well, personally, I think it's a redemption for President Trump, but more importantly, I think it's a signal that the people in America really want to get back to the basics. I think this election spoke tons about what their concerns are, security at the border, security in foreign countries, and then also the pocketbook, the economy, inflation, jobs, and so forth. These are the two driving issues that I think people spoke with yesterday. And I think, we're encouraged because there were 7 states that we were very concerned about. And, it looks like they're all, for the most part, going to be in line. So this is a sweeping victory. I'm delighted with it. And I think now we can get to work.
David, let's talk about that work. So your expectation on some of the big issues, taxes, corporate rate, individual rate, tariffs. We've heard former President Trump, now going to be the president again, talk so much about those. How do you think that all plays out?
Well, Andrew, I think what we have a roadmap. You go back and look in 2017, I was in the White House shortly after he was elected, and he talked about the same issues we have right now, how to get the economy going. We focused on regulation, energy, taxes, and banking. You'll see some of that now, but also you've got a foreign situation right now that's very troublesome. You have 2 existential threats, in my opinion. Neither were really talked about much in the campaign. One is obviously the China issue, and then the second is this financial debacle that we have now with our debt and ever-increasing situation there. And then you have Social Security and Medicare under threat. So yeah, we'll get to busy. He'll get to work very quickly. This time he only has 4 years. Last time he thought, well, maybe we'll have 8 years. So I think you'll see him come out of the gate quickly with a majority in the Senate. I think you'll see his team put together very quickly, and then he'll start executing this plan.
We don't know. We never know when to stop calling people senator, but I guess I'd stop calling you senator when I call you Mr. Secretary of something. Is that going to happen, David? Commerce? What do you think?
Joe, right now, we haven't even counted all the votes. Look, there are a lot of talented people, and I think what you're going to see President Trump do is just what he did in his first term. He's going to surround himself with really AAA players. These are major league entities, men and women, people of color. You're going to see this. What he said tonight is really telling, I think, Joe. He said, this is a time to heal our country. You don't hear that a lot at this point, but I'm anxious to see that executed. You heard
David. You know what I just thought of? You got something that's very important to President-elect Trump. You know what it is?
What's that? Strokes?
Clubhead speed. You remember he said someone didn't have he had. Hey, you know what? You got the golf down. You might as well go back into public service. Seriously. That's right. Go ahead.
David, we have talked a lot about tax and other financial implications, markets implications from this. We have not spent much time this morning talking foreign policy. How do you think this plays out when President Trump has said one of his first prerogatives is going to be dealing with the situation or trying to solve the situation between Ukraine and Russia? What do you think happens with the Middle East?
Well, I think there are 3 priorities right now. One, and he said this on the campaign trail, one is to stop the fighting in Ukraine. I mean, I think this can be done. He's got contacts. He knows how to do that. And then, of course, the Middle East. I mean, this is very dangerous. Iran and Israel have an open, undeclared war right now, mostly cyber. But you see that going on before our very eyes every day. And then, of course, there's China. Now, the tariff issue was part of the foreign policy. We made it part of the economic conversation, but it was just as much part of the foreign policy. Our supply chain is way over too dependent on China and other foreign countries. So I think you'll see him come out of the gate.
Meaning that you support the CHIPS Act still?
Well, I don't know.
That's been a big question.
I think that'll be modified, but you'll see him come out of the gate quickly on all these fronts because 4 years goes by very quickly, as we learn.
David, one of the other questions we've been talking about all morning is the role that Elon Musk is likely to play in this administration. We talked about trying to create a more efficient government. There was a tweet he put out this morning. Maybe we can even put it up on the screen, very reminiscent of an old tweet that he had put out when he first bought Twitter, where he came in literally physically holding a sink. I don't know if you've seen it. He's now has an image of himself superimposed over the Oval Office, also holding that sink. What does that look like to you? We've also noted that Tesla stock this morning is up about 13% on the back of this news.
Well, when you see that rocket be brought back to Earth, cradled in that structure, you think, okay, this is what we need in the federal government. But guys, I've studied this budget, as you well know, over the last 10 years. And you look at in the last 4 years, discretionary spending is up like 40%, guys. It's outrageous. What we need is a basic restructuring plan. If this were a corporation, you would have big ideas coming in from all points to get this thing to become much more efficient and less costly. I think Elon Musk plays a very significant role in this. He has Donald Trump's trust. He has the ideas, and he's not afraid to break some glass. So I think you'll see him in the administration in some role. But I think his advice is going to be invaluable no matter what role he plays.
We're showing that tweet right now. I don't know if you have an opportunity to see it from where you're sitting. Separately, we've been talking about sort of winners and losers this morning, and I'm curious, as somebody who's in the investment world and business world, and you've looked at it, some people saying, you know what, this may be great for TikTok. The president has said before that he may not want to shut down TikTok. It may be bad for Meta, given some of the comments he's made about that company. We're looking at, as I said, Tesla up 13%. We saw Rivian, by the way. I don't know if I could explain it, down about 5%. What is your thought in about some of those names?
Well, I think the big winner is very clear. He committed to it. I think a lot of us are committed to this. That's a renaissance of domestic manufacturing. Look at our supply chain, rare earth elements, shipbuilding, steel. We've got to rebuild that here in the United States. So you're going to see tax structures, tariffs out there that will encourage domestic manufacturing to return to the United States. I think that's going to be the huge winner in the first couple of years of the Trump administration.
Got to go through some pain to grow. That's hilarious. Good old Elon. And of course, guys, okay, of course. For those of you who have not watched it, we obviously have to play Trump's speech last night.
Thank you very much. Wow. Well, I want to thank you all very much. This is great. These are our friends. We have thousands of friends on this incredible movement. This was a movement like nobody's ever seen before.
Stupid commercials. I knew that was going to pop up. It's okay.
And frankly, this was, I believe, the greatest political movement of all time. There's never been anything like this in this country and maybe beyond. And now it's going to reach a new level of importance because we're going to help our country heal. We're going to help our country heal. We have a country that needs help, and it needs help very badly. We're going to fix our borders. We're going to fix everything about our country. And we made history for a reason tonight, and the reason is going to be just that. We overcame obstacles that nobody thought possible, and it is now clear that we've achieved the most incredible political thing. Look what happened. Is this crazy? But it's a political victory that our country has never seen before, nothing like this. I want to thank the American people for the extraordinary honor of being elected your 47th president and your 45th president. And every citizen, I will fight for you, for your family, and your future. Every single day, I will be fighting for you, and with every breath in my body, I will not rest until we have delivered the strong, safe, and prosperous America that our children deserve and that you deserve. This will truly be the golden age of America. That's what we have to have. This is a magnificent victory for the American people that will allow us to make America great again. And in addition to having won the battleground states of North Carolina, I love these places, Georgia, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, we are now winning in Michigan, Arizona, Nevada, and Alaska, which would result in us carrying at least 315 electoral votes. But it's much easier doing what the networks did or whoever called it, because there was no other path. There was no other path to victory. We also have won the popular vote. That was great. Very proud of it. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. And, winning the popular vote was very nice, I will tell you. It's a great feeling of love. We have a great feeling of love in this very large room with unbelievable people standing by my side. These people have been incredible. They've made the journey with me, and we're going to make you very happy. We're going to make you very proud of your vote. I hope that you're going to be looking back someday and say that was one of the truly important moments of my life when I voted for this group of people beyond the president, this group of great people.
In less than 24 hours, you will have
stupid ads.
America has given us an unprecedented and powerful mandate. We have taken back control of the Senate. Wow, that's good. And the Senate races in Montana, Nevada, Texas, Ohio, Michigan, Wisconsin, the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, were all won by the MAGA movement. They helped so much. And in those cases, every one of them, we worked with the senators. They were tough races. And I mean, the number of victories in the Senate was absolutely incredible. And we did tele-rallies. We did tele-rallies with each one of them. And sometimes we did 2 or 3 and it was amazing to look at all of those victories. Nobody expected that, nobody. So I just wanted to thank you very much for that. And you have some great senators and some great new senators. And it also looks like we'll be keeping control of the House of Representatives. And I want to thank Mike Johnson. I think he's doing a terrific job. Terrific job. I want to also thank my beautiful wife, Melania, First Lady. Who has the #1 best-selling book in the country. Can you believe that? Oh, no, she's done a great job, works very hard to help people. So I just want to thank her. But I want to thank my whole family, my amazing children, and they are amazing children. Now, we all think our children are amazing. Everybody here thinks their children are amazing, but that's a good thing when you think they are. But Don, Eric, Ivanka, Tiffany, Barron, Laura, Jared, Kimberly, Michael, thank you all. What a help.
My kids.
My father-in-law, Victor, is tremendous, and we miss very much Melania's mother, Amalia. We miss Amalia, don't we, huh? She would be very happy right now, standing on this stage. She'd be so proud. She was a great woman, that one. Beautiful inside and out. She was a great woman. I want to be the first to congratulate our great, now I can say, Vice President-elect of the United States, J.D. Vance. And his absolutely remarkable and beautiful wife, Usha Vance. And he is a feisty guy, isn't he? You know, I've said, go into the enemy camp. And you know, the enemy camp is certain networks. And a lot of people don't like to, sir, do I have to do that? He just goes, okay. Which one? CNN, MSDNC? He'll say, all right, thank you very much. He actually looks fun. He's like the only guy I've ever seen. He really looks forward to it. And then he just goes and absolutely obliterates them. Say a couple of words.
Wow. Well, Mr. President, I appreciate you allowing me to join you on this incredible journey. I thank you for the trust that you placed in me. And I think that we just witnessed the greatest political comeback in the history of the United States of America. And under President Trump's leadership, we're never going to stop fighting for you, for your dreams, for the future of your children. And after the greatest political comeback in American history, we're going to lead the greatest economic comeback in American history under Donald Trump's leadership.
Thank you very much. He's turned out to be a good choice. I took a little heat at the beginning, but he was, I knew the brain was a good one, about as good as it gets. And we love the family, and we're going to have a great 4 years, and we're going to turn our country around, make it something very special. It lost that little thing called special. We have to make it so. We're going to make this so great. It's the greatest country, and potentially the greatest country in the world by far. And right now we're going to just work very hard to get all of that back. We're going to make it the best it's ever been. We can do that. If we had to wait longer, I don't know. It was going bad, and it was going bad fast. We're going to have to seal up those borders, and we're going to have to let people come into our country. We want people to come back in, but we have to let them come back in, but they have to come in legally. They have to come in legally. Let me also express my tremendous appreciation for Susie and Chris, the job you did. Susie, come here. Come here, Susie. Chris, come here, Chris. Susie likes to stay sort of in the back, let me tell you. The Ice Maiden, we call her the Ice Maiden, right? Come here, Chris. Come here, Chris. Susie likes to stay in the background. She's not in the background. Come here, Susie.
What this means for you.
This wasn't expected, but I just want to thank, obviously, President Trump for this journey. It was a great one, and he's a hell of a candidate. And he's going to be a hell of a great 47th president. And this team that we had, the best team, and, of course, even my boss, Susie Wiles, the best. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you, Susie. Look at her, she's shot. I've never seen her be shot before. Susie. They're great. Everybody up here is great. Everybody up here is very special. But the Trump, who did you say? Oh, let me tell you, we have a new star. A star is born, Elon. Now he is. Now he's an amazing guy. We were sitting together tonight. You know, he spent 2 weeks in Philadelphia and different parts of Pennsylvania campaigning. You know, he sent the rocket up 2 weeks ago, and I saw that rocket, and I saw it coming down. I saw it. It was, when it left, it was beautiful, shiny white. When it came down, it didn't look so pretty. It was going 10,000 miles an hour, and it was burning like hell. I said, what happened to your paint job? He said, we've never made a paint that could withstand that kind of heat. And, but I saw it come down and turn around. And it was, you know, it's like 22 stories tall, by the way. It looks a little smaller than that, but it's big. And it came down, and you saw that fire burning. And I'm saying, only Elon can do this. It must be an Elon. And I tell the story. I told it last night. I had a man on the phone. I had the screen muted, no sound. I was talking to a very important man, happens to be here. And that very important guy, one of the most important people in, I would say, the country, actually. But, you know, I was president, and now it looks like I was going to be maybe president again, so I figured I could ask him to hold. So I asked him to hold. And because, especially because you're going to be president again, they hold. So I took the phone down, and I'm looking at the screen. I'm seeing this crazy thing that's going around and coming down. It looks like it's going to crash into the gantry. And I said, oh, no. And I said, do me a favor. Do you mind holding for a couple of minutes? I want to see this. I thought it was a space age movie or something. I put the phone down. Bad part, I didn't pick it up for 45 minutes, and he was holding. But this spaceship came down, and I saw those engines firing, and it looked like it was over. It was going to smash. And then I saw the fire pour out from the left side, and I put it straight, and it came down so gently, and then it wrapped those arms around it, and it held it, and just like you hold your baby at night, your little baby. And it was a beautiful thing to see, and I called Elon. I said, Elon, was that you? He said, yes, it was. I said, who else can do that? Can Russia do it? No. Can China do it? No. Can the United States do it other than you? No. Nobody can do that. I said, that's why I love you, Elon. That's great. And you know, when we had the tragic Hurricane Helene, and it hit North Carolina, they were really devastated. The water, this was a big water, as big as we've ever seen, water hurricane. It built lakes out of nothing. Fields became lakes, and the danger was unbelievable. And the people from North Carolina came to me and they said, would it be possible, at all possible, for you to speak to Elon Musk? We need Starlink. I said, what's Starlink? It's a form of communication. So I called Elon, and I'll tell you what, he had, and it was very dangerous. People would die. They had no communication. All the wires were down. I called Elon Musk. I said, Elon, you have something called Starlink. Is that right? Yes, I do. What the hell is it? He said, it's a communication system that's very good. I said, Elon, they need it really, really badly in North Carolina. Can you get it? He had that there so fast. It was incredible. So, and it was great. It saved a lot of lives. He saved a lot of lives. But he's a character. He's a special guy. He's a super genius. We have to protect our geniuses. We don't have that many of them. We have to protect our super geniuses. I want to thank some of the guys. You know, we have up here today the U.S. Open champion. He's a fantastic golfer. He's slightly longer than me. It's a ball, a little bit longer than me. Just a little bit. Bryson DeChambeau is up here someplace. What happened to Bryson? Where is he? Bryson. Oh, he was shot. He's hitting balls. Oh, he's on the way. He's hitting balls. Bryson. Oh, look at him. He's got a great career going. Great U.S. Open, Bryson. That's a fantastic job. And we also have a man, Dana White, who has done some job. He's a tough guy. So Dana started UFC and came to me, do you mind if I use your, nobody wanted to give him Marines because they said it's a rough sport, a little rough. And I helped him out a little bit, and I went and I said, this is the roughest sport I've ever seen, but I began to like it and he loved it, and nobody's done a better job in sports. And you know, he's a very motivational kind of a guy, what he does. He gets these fighters and they really go at it, and it's become one of the most successful sports enterprises anywhere at any time. It's doing so well. I'd like to ask Dana just to say a couple of words because people love to hear from him. Dana,
please. Nobody deserves this more than him, and nobody deserves this more than his family does. This is what happens when the machine comes after you. What you've seen over the last several years, this is what it looks like. Couldn't stop him. He keeps going forward. He doesn't quit. He's the most resilient, hardworking man I've ever met in my life. His family are incredible people. This is karma, ladies and gentlemen. He deserves this. They deserve it as a family. I want to thank some people real quick. I want to thank the Nelt boys, Aiden Ross, Theo Vaughn, Bustin' with the Boys, and last but not least, the mighty and powerful Joe Rogan. And thank you, America. Thank you. Have a good night.
That is a piece of work. Now he's really an amazing guy. But most of all, I want to thank the millions of hardworking Americans across the nation who have always been the heart.
Very, very nice. There's some good laughs in there, guys. There's some good laughs in there. Absolutely love it, guys. Absolutely love it. And let's Let's check in on Gare Bear, see how he's doing.
Talking of disclosures, one disclosure from former President Trump is that he would fire you, ultimately. Unsurprising to you, I'm sure.
So, Caroline, I'll let you go to your next question.
A lot to get on with, and your term is what, until June 2026? But will it run until then? Many feel that perhaps not. Talking.
Next question, please. Oh, man, what a great day. What a great day yesterday was. What a great day today is so far. And guys, to continue on with that great day, check this out right now. Boom. Bitcoin just smashed through another new all-time high while we're live streaming. We got up to 75,900. 75,900. Yep. We have reached the new all-time high. Let's move the all-time high up. There we go, baby. There we go. New all-time high live on stream. Real quick, guys, I saw a super chat back here I got to get to. Legend of Alexander, did you look at Strader, ticker SD? Yeah, I remember we looked at it yesterday. This thing is analytic to fly over 1 ESP, $1 with the liquid staking. Yeah, I did look at it yesterday, I think, with you. Let's have another look at it while we're talking about it here, brother. Ticker's SD. Yes, I do remember looking at this with you. Stater. Yes. Wow, up 54% today. That's a great call, Legend of Alexander. You nailed this one yesterday, brother. Absolutely, up to a $32 million market cap. Yeah, it's doing good. 106% on the week. Fantastic. I remember we were looking at this jump right here, eh? And in market cap, it jumped up from like what just has the volume? Jumped up in volume. Yeah, from 670,000 yeah, to 3 million. Crazy. What about market cap? Yeah, it jumped up from a $13.8 million market cap to a $21 million market cap to a 26, almost 27. What are we at now? Wow, 32. Yes. I am bullish on this, man. I am bullish. We're starting to get some listings with it too. We need a couple of tier ones now that we're getting some of these smaller listings. We got crypto.com and KuCoin, but we need a good solid Binance listing. Honestly, man, I would hold on to this one until we get those Binance listings, maybe a Coinbase if you're lucky. That's what I would be looking at to hold this one through, brother. I would definitely be holding it for a little while. All right, what do we got here, guys? What do we got? KASPA, new integration alert. Paxful is a P2P marketplace where you can buy and sell, send, and receive crypto on local currencies. So Paxful, new payment method. KASPA, you love to see it. It's on Coinbase. Oh, okay, so it's already on Coinbase. So yeah, I would say like, you want that Binance listing, right? What else? So it's got. What do you have? You have. Oh yeah, you got Coinbase, you got MEXE, you got KuCoin. You want Binance, you want Kraken, right? You want a couple of those other ones. You can still get listings like BitTrue and stuff like that as well. So there's still quite a few listings that we could get on here. I don't see LBank on there. Yeah, it could be really, really well. Dumb Money with the super chat. Thank you, brother. You are the alpha. Hey, thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you. I know you're celebrating, man. I was thinking about you last night when the Trump won the election there. I was thinking about you, man. You were on my mind. I got you, brother. I got you. So yes, big news for KASPA, guys. This is just hilarious, so I had to show it. This is, you guys, look at Gary. Look at him. Look at his face. Whoever made this is a genius. You're fired. Oh, this is gold, man. This is gold. I couldn't help it. I'm sorry, guys. That's too good not to show. That's too good not to show. All right, let's get back over to Squawk Box and see what's going on. Talking the economy.
Joining us right now to talk about the election, which NBC News projects Donald Trump has officially won. John Hope Bryan, Operation Hope founder and CEO and a CNBC contributor, and Mick Mulvaney. He served as acting White House chief of staff to former President Trump. He's now co-chair of Actim Strategic Advisors. Mick, I'm going to go to you first. What comes next when you think about the priorities that Trump has laid out, the economic priorities that he has laid out? What do you see happening over the first 100 days at this point?
The way I explain it to people, Andrew, is that what you liked about Donald Trump in the first term, you're going to like more. What you didn't like in the first term, you're going to like even less. And that's because the team is ready. They've actually prepared this time. The 2016 win took the entire Trump team as somewhat of a shock. And they didn't have, for example, teams in place, executive orders written, et cetera. They're not making that mistake again. So they're going to hit the ground running, whereas there was a very steep learning curve 4 years ago. I think David Rubenstein was right. The first legislative priority is going to be taxes because Trump has to have Congress to do that. But at the same time, be working on the border and on regulatory policy because he can do that through the executive branch.
Nick, there's no Russia hoax going on either. That was 2 years of getting bogged down in, I don't know what what you'd call it. Will there be something? I'm ready for something else. I don't discount the possibility that immediately the opposition, the loyal opposition might try to find something. Don't you think?
You know, there's some real fringe elements on the internet. Keith Olbermann is calling now for an investigation, but I don't think anybody's listening. I think that the victory was so substantial. It's not a circumstance where he wins the Electoral College and loses the popular vote. I think the Democrats know they lost and they got beat, and what they were selling didn't sell to the voters. So I do think it might be a little bit different. Maybe that's naive in Washington, D.C. That certainly will be different if the House does end up going to Democrat control. It doesn't look like that's going to happen, but it still could. But maybe Trump will get a chance to actually work on his agenda as opposed to being distracted with investigations.
John Hope Bryan, you have been a supporter of Kamala Harris. I'm curious, on a morning like today, as you think about what this election means, what it means to the Democratic Party, what it means to you, what do you think?
Well, you know, I'm a supporter most of all on the healing of this country, and that we're better together. And my guess is she'll be gracious and respectful, as she always is. My desire, and hey, Mick, good to see you, brother. My desire is that we have focus on 5 things, Andrew. I mean, first of all, it was said overnight. I was on overnight, and I think it was Jay who said we have an ownership class, and we have everybody else who feels like they're sort of renting America, and that's not sustainable. And there was a sales job done to the bottom of the pyramid, whether you're struggling poor white or whether you're black and brown urban, that there was an agenda for you. And now, so that sales job is over and the deal has been closed, so to speak. Now it's about leadership. It's no more sales. It's about how do we materialize that and repair the ladder from the bottom up. How do we help somebody in Erie, Pennsylvania? How do you help somebody venting their frustrations is not going to pay somebody's mortgage or put them through school or start a business. And so we got to repair that ladder. And so these 5 things: economic growth, everybody agrees on that. 2, healing. That's probably something that's unique to me in adding on this list on your program. 3, strengthening the middle class, because 70% of this economy, Andrew, is consumer spending, 70%. And I think that if you look at the swing states, we did a Hope credit score index. All those swing states basically look the same. When you look at their credit score, the life expectancy, they are stuck in the middle. So growing the middle class, growing the table, which includes our demographic growth, embracing our demographic growth, the legitimate diversity of this country, growing the table. Otherwise, we're at risk from Iran, Russia, China, North Korea, who want to be us economically, and then reducing the debt, both the country's debt and personal debt, through growing the table and economic growth. So it's sort of a circular, not a firing squad, a circular strategy up. I think that we've got to get the small businesses, re-energized, and the consumer, the individual, has got to see the latter rebuilt. The color is green, Andrew. What I'm really saying, it's not black or white or red or blue, as I keep saying in your program.
Right.
It's green. That's what this election, I think, was about.
Exciting, guys. Exciting times. Oh, things are about to get so good. Things are about to get so good, in my opinion. We got more. We got more, guys. It keeps coming. We got a lot to get through today. A lot to get through. We're going to see real change in antitrust.
At this point, tell us, have you done anything? Are you going to do anything? What do you think?
Joe, we've been very optimistic and bullish on the bank stocks all year, and last night's win by Trump makes us continues with that bullishness, because, as you heard from Roger, we're going to see a real change in antitrust, and we're going to see a change in banking regulation as well, and that's going to be positive for the banks. You're going to see a few people probably be removed from the regulatory agencies, like the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, for one. The OCC head is the temporary head, so the new administration will probably put in a more pro-banker at the OCC. So the outlook for the banks from a regulatory standpoint, we think, is quite positive.
Yes. We have had people on it. It's kind of weird. There were positives and negatives. For regional banks, we had Bob Diamond on the other day, who was supporting Vice President Harris, and yet he made the case how great it would be for small and regional banks if Trump were to prevail. So it's odd. You think it's a good time now, a really good time for consolidation in small banks and regional banks, Gerard?
It's a good point, Joe, because when you look back to the early 80s, we had over 18,000 banks and thrifts in this country. Consolidation has worked over 40 years. It's never linear. We're down to about 4,500 today, but they've been stalled over the last couple of years. And I think this will certainly, support having this administration, and the people. And the key part will be who will be, advising him and his cabinet. And if they're pro-business, I think you'll see more consolidation. The other important point, Joe, fundamentally speaking, is that if the economy does pick up and we do see more M&A activity around the country, not just in banks, commercial loan growth has been very weak for the banks. And I think what you're going to see now is a strength in commercial lending in 2025, which, if the yield curve continues to steepen, which we expect it will, revenue growth for the banks could surprise to the upside in 2025 due to the stronger loan growth and the steepening in the curve.
Gerard, are you concerned about, leading up to this election, we've been talking about Fed independence, and, we're going to get back to reporting on the Fed, I can guarantee you, pretty soon as we get through this election. But what do you see happening there? Do you need to tell clients or your colleagues what's going to happen with I don't know, with Jay Powell? Will there be a pressure to keep rates too low? Will inflation be rekindled? Should we be inflating our way out of this debt?
It's a good point. I think it's a little too early to tell. I'd be surprised if the Fed loses its independence. We've seen pressure on the Fed for years. You might remember, under President Nixon, the pressure he put on the Fed back then. And it did rekindle, as you recall, reinflation in the late 70s and early 80s, and it cost Arthur Burns his job as chairman of the Fed. There will be pressure. There always has been pressure. But Joe, you bring up a good point about inflation. We've always believed that we're not in the recession camp, even though I know you touched on it a moment ago. The inverted yield curve back in end of 22, everybody was calling for a recession in 23. Obviously, it never happened. But as we go forward, we have to be careful about inflation reemerging. The economy is very healthy today, and we've got to be careful that the Fed doesn't ease too quickly and too much.
That's another interesting question, guys, is are we going to see the Fed, Jay Powell, get replaced? I would think so, right? Is he going to be gone after what he's, some people say he's done a great job. What do you guys think? I don't know. Do you guys think he's done a great job? So far, things seem to be going okay. The rates are coming down. And by the way, guys, yes, little reminder, there is a rate cut coming in tomorrow. right? 25 basis point rate cut. Don't forget about that. A little bit more on Algorand, guys. Our verifiably random hosts discuss layer 1 and layer 2 blockchains. Algorand has everything you need on a layer 1. Check it out.
Of course, we at Algorand, we have layer 1, and we feel that we only need a layer 1. John, what's your thought about that?
Yeah, I mean, look, there's different schools of thought on this, but I can see where that individual on the bank list was coming from. But here's the thing. By definition, a layer 2 security is provided by the underlying layer 1. That's the definition of a layer 2. And a sidechain, which is closely related to a kind of the notion of a layer 2, you might have heard of sidechain or daughter chain. Those sidechain things, they have their own consensus mechanism. And so there are examples of both. Cardano's Midnight originally started off as a sidechain. It was supposed to have its own consensus mechanism, not rely on the security of Cardano for its security. I think since then it's changed so that Midnight is now using the security of Cardano directly. And so nearly all layer 2s, they shouldn't have a reduction in security. If you've got a properly implemented layer 2 with no backdoors or centralized control, with no kind of like tight group of folks who can kind of manipulate things or turn things on and off, if it's truly a trustless, permissionless, well-engineered layer 2, it should have the same security as the layer 1, essentially. But of course, as that gentleman or person on Bankless said, it's not the case, because most layer 2s, any that I'm aware of, they all have some caveat around security, i.e., the interaction with the lower chain, the interaction with the downstream layer 1 chain is in some way, they have some level of centralized control, whether that's the ability to pause the layer 2, the ability to roll back certain transactions, the ability to manually interact with things. And so that's where you have a problem. Of course, our thesis at Algorand is that you don't need a layer 2 if your layer 1 is fit for purpose. And I think we've seen this. I mean, think of it this way. What's the greatest distributed network in the world? The internet, right? Does that have a layer 2? I don't think so. All classes of traffic on the internet, whether it's web traffic, HTTPS, SSH traffic, streaming video with real-time protocols, streaming voice, VoIP calls, you name it. All those layers and classes of traffic, they all flow through the same systems. They all flow through the same border gateway. They all flow through the same IP, TCP/IP stack. They all use layer 1 protocols for their implementation. And so we don't have this idea really of an internet on top of an internet on top of an internet. Of course, we have technologies like Tor or I2P, privacy layers that might sit on top of the internet. But truly, the day-to-day internet traffic for 99.9% of the internet's data propagation is all handled by the internet at a common single base layer. And so we feel that it is possible to deliver an incredible experience for the end user whilst giving them that same user experience at layer 1, where they are interacting directly with the protocol, which is secure, robust, and scalable, without having to tack on layer 2 solutions. But what it requires is a very nuanced software architecture, a nuanced network topology, and it requires, of course, terrific engineering. But I think at Algorand, we have managed to deliver on that vision. We've managed to deliver a layer 1 that can scale up from its current 10,000 transactions a second up to enterprise grade, industry leading 30, 40, 50K transactions a second over the coming years, whilst maintaining security and robustness. And so really, the only reason you need a layer 2 in this day and age with our current speed of computing and the current bandwidth of the global internet is if you haven't properly designed your layer 1.
I am very, very bullish on Algorand, guys. Love Algorand. What do we got here with Bitcoin? Let's go back over to the chart. Guys, we hit an all-time high last night on Bitcoin. We hit another all-time high today. Did we break 7,600? We broke it. We broke $76,000 briefly. 76K, baby. Let's freaking go. Can we hit 80K tonight? There's the question. Can we hit 80K tonight? We're only about $4,000 away from that, guys. So it's not out of the realm of possibility. All right, what else do we got? What do we got for news? Like I just said, guys, Papa Powell is going to lower rates again tomorrow. Tomorrow we have a rate cut as well. So check this out from Senator Cynthia Lummis. We're going to build a strategic Bitcoin reserve. That's right. That's what Trump said he would do. Are we going to have a strategic Bitcoin reserve in the United States? Man, do I ever hope so. Bitcoin Magazine says $4.5 billion in assets under management. Bitwise CIO says we are entering the golden age of crypto.
Markets are rallying sharply this morning after last night's landslide election, which installed Trump in the White House and elected a very pro-crypto Congress in both the Senate and the House. Bitcoin is at all-time highs. Other assets like Solana are rallying even further. I have three big takeaways from last night's election.
It's got music. I gotta mute them. I can't play it, guys. Sorry. It's got music. YouTube will shut me down. I apologize. All right, what do we got? We have more from Squawk Box. That's the Trump trade, says Martha Norton of Empower Investments on the market rally today. Let's see.
All right, let's take a look at the markets right now. Joining us for this is Marta Norton, Empower Investments Chief Investment Strategist. Marta, you laid out some cases that and how you thought the markets might trade under each of them. It looks pretty clear this morning like this is going to be a red sweep. We still don't know for sure about the House, but it's down to a matter of a number of seats at this point. What would you be telling investors this morning?
Well, listen, what's pretty interesting is that the question of uncertainty has been taken off the table. So we're seeing this massive market reaction. We're seeing risk assets rally, particularly small caps. We're seeing a very strong dollar. That's the Trump trade. And it's pretty interesting to see it, come to fruition at this moment. I think one of the considerations for investors is that the perspective really has to be longer term. There's a lot of emotion. There's a lot of euphoria based on perspective in markets today. And I think that doesn't necessarily mean that's the way markets are going to trade in perpetuity. So I think a longer term perspective is really critical at these emotional moments.
And when you look longer term, what do you think that means? And what is longer term? You're talking 6 months, a year, 2 years?
Well, I think that, somewhat depends on kind of the perspective of the investor. But I think if we're looking at kind of the enduring trends that are alive and well today, we have an economic perspective that's really a soft landing, this better balance between the labor market and inflation. That does mean rates are coming down. That is bullish for equities. And I think that's an enduring trade. But the real question mark here is how much those rates come down and what that causes from a market rotation standpoint. And I think that's somewhat of an open question today because you are weighing the consequences of a soft landing and of kind of Trump policies coming together. And so I think there's some element here where potentially we don't see the same kind of rotation that potentially we were anticipating earlier in the year, where we saw rates, the expectation that rates were going to really collapse and cause massive support. We had that 50 basis point cut from the Federal Reserve that can spur a lot of enthusiasm for equities, and now it's not clear that rates are going to come down quite to that same degree and cause quite that same tailwind.
Let's assume that the House goes to the Republicans and that this is a full-on sweep, and that means Donald Trump can go ahead and do all of the things he's been promising, the things he wants to do.
Right.
How does that impact markets? Let's start with tariffs. Let's start with taxes. How do those policy changes that he's laid out, what will that mean for investors?
Well, I think first on the taxes standpoint, so if we do have a red sweep, that really does give some room to move on the tax promises. And there's both the extension of the 2017 tax cuts, and then there's also this orientation toward domestic producers. So companies that are producing their products here in the US, and that really favors the small cap side of things. And I think that's why you're seeing the Russell 2000 reaction that you have today. When you're talking about tariffs, it's something of an interesting question because it flips that a little bit. And the expectation for tariffs is that that weighs on economic growth, and that causes, longer, the long end of the curve to have higher rates. And that's actually, not quite as positive for the small caps. And so that's where there's that kind of push-pull between these different policies that is going to impact the long term.
Very, very nice, guys. Very, very nice. Just so you guys know, I'm not ignoring the chat. I will get to the chat after we get through all the news. So I will go through all of your questions and comments and everything. The only time I jump from the news to the chat is if you're sending over a super chat. I'll get to that right away. But I will get to the chat, guys. Bear with me. Okay. We got let's get through this here. Check this out. Back to good old Gare Bear. Could Gensler's SEC leadership change soon? The fate of the SEC chairman, Gary Gensler, is under scrutiny as discussions about potential leadership shifts within the U.S. government arise. With the possibility of Donald Trump or Crashula Harris taking the presidency, questions linger about the implications for Gensler's position. Legal expert David Michaels notes that while the changes in administration may spark speculation, the legal framework surrounding Gensler's role may complicate any immediate action against him. They cannot fire him, but they can demote him down to commissioner and promote someone to be his boss. Michaels shared insights on the complexities of removing Gensler through social media. He pointed out that a significance of the Supreme Court 1935 ruling of Humphrey's executor versus the United States, which restricts the dismissal of heads of independent agencies like the SEC based solely on executive whims. But it wouldn't necessarily be a whim. One could make a very strong case that Gensler, there is grounds to fire him. It's not simply because a new administration's coming in. It's because judges in courts over the last couple of years have been telling him he's behaving in a way that is not in respect to the law. He does not have a faithful allegiance to the law. Congress has told him to knock it off, and he refuses to listen, right? One could argue that these are grounds for dismissal. Secondly, calling the SEC an independent agency at this point in time is laughable, to say the least. Should Gensler be replaced, there could be notable shifts in how the SEC regulates cryptocurrencies under his guidance. Crypto firms face compliance costs topping $400 million, leading to significant criticism over the agency's stringent oversight. Critics, like former SEC official Mark Fagel, has raised concerns about the SEC's abrupt decisions, suggesting that better communication is essential. Gensler's future remains uncertain, particularly if Trump secures the presidency. While removal options seem limited, the former president may explore strategies to encourage Gensler's resignation. How this situation unfolds they could also enter another new bill in Congress to unseat him, right? They could do that. If they pass a bill, there might not be a current law that says that they can fire him, but they could pass one like that, right? So they already tried once. The Democrats Biden blocked it, right? But they can try again. All right, Pompliano on Squawk Box, guys. Check this out. It's never a bad thing to hear from Pomp.
Take a look at crypto this morning. We have already a few times here with us now. Getting after it relentlessly, right? Anthony Pompliano, founder and CEO of Professional Capital Management. And you're always in a positive mood. Even though crypto is not always positive, it is this morning. You expect more new highs on Bitcoin.
I mean, new all-time high. Satoshi couldn't have written a better script, having it hit a new all-time high on the night of the election. I think one of the most important things is we have the first Bitcoin president. President Trump ran on a campaign point that he was going to protect Bitcoin. He was going to create a Bitcoin strategic reserve. And I think that you saw Bitcoin's price kind of reflect having somebody who was so pro-Bitcoin win the White House.
Relatively, it's not that recent, I guess. But so you think this is the real Donald Trump on Bitcoin that he's been for the last, how long? A year and a half?
I think that he's surrounded by enough people who really understand this. People like Bitcoin Magazine CEO David Bailey, many others who have really spent the time with him.
And one of the interesting things is whether he believes in Bitcoin or not is almost a moot point. Is what is he going to do? And if he's going to protect it and not be abrasive, that's a win. But if he also creates the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve, I think that'll be a huge tailwind, and it'll kick off this global game theory, right? If the United States starts to lean in and welcome Bitcoin and say, hey, this is an asset that we want on our balance sheet, other countries are going to have to respond. And the interesting thing about Bitcoin is that it's been a bottoms-up adoption story. Individuals adopted it first. Now we see corporations and financial institutions, but the central banks are some of the biggest buyers of gold. Gold is up huge. And so if central banks start to buy Bitcoin and put it in their reserves, that would be a massive tailwind for Bitcoin.
So even short of a sovereign wealth fund or anything like that, Andrew, Becky, we haven't talked about Gary Gensler in light of what's going on.
You mean that he's not going to have a job?
You tell me.
Of course he's not going to have a job. What do we need to talk about here?
We know who's not going to be SEC.
I can tell you who's not going to be the SEC commissioner. I can tell you who's not going to. I can tell you who's not going to run the FTC. I can tell you who's not going to. Right? I can go through the list.
Yeah.
It's going to be a house cleaning, obviously.
Mark Cuban is not going to be if he wanted to be at this point. You think Gensler's gone, and you think that would be good?
I think people expect whenever a new president comes in, they're going to, kind of play musical chairs with all the regulatory organizations. What I do think we are on the precipice of is a kind of an economic explosion. Right, we have somebody who's coming in who obviously is very business friendly. He's surrounded by people who are very business friendly. They have some radical ideas in a positive way in terms of what they can do to cut taxes, drive GDP growth, use the country's balance sheet to try to close the deficit gap. And so I don't expect them to be able to do everything that they're saying that they can do, right? When you're on the campaign trail, you say a lot of stuff. But if they can accomplish 50% of it,
so which 50%? Like, which are the ones that you think are most important and maybe most likely to get put through?
Well, I think actually, if you look at what the American people did last night, they basically issued a mandate. They said, we want lower inflation, we want affordable housing, we want a secure border, we want a government that doesn't go and engage in more war, and we want to feel like we are safe, secure, and strong at home. And so if you are the president coming in and you can say, how do I get inflation down and under control? If you look at home affordability, start to deregulate and allow people to build more housing in this country.
Right, because the problem is
100%, guys. All right, what else do we got? A couple more things to get through, and then we will get into the chat. Actually, I just wanted to go over this because we have a member who continues to look for reasons to panic sell, and they're trying to panic sell again. So they asked me about Miria. They're like, OKX is delisting Miria. Is that a bad thing? Well, what do you think? Have a look at the price action. Does the price action tell you that people are panic selling right now? Of course not, right? So please stop looking for reasons to panic sell, because I mean, you're doing it to yourself. There's absolutely no reason to panic on Miria at all. Miria is one of my favorite projects. I think it's going to do fantastic in this bull run. Chart looks very, very nice. Nothing to complain about. All right. So yes. So let's go back over. Let's have a look at Bitcoin's chart. Still looking sexy. Still looking all right. Let's get into the chat, guys. I'm going to get into the chat here. See what everybody's talking about. Holy crap, there's a lot to get into. WF Capital in the house. What's up, baby? Good to see you, man. BTC Rippin fell asleep during the live streams last night. Nice. Yeah, I streamed for about 2.5 hours last night. Sun is hot in the house. What's up, man? Let's go, Jasmy. 100%, man. 100%. Nacho, good morning, man. Check out Cow Protocol. All right, that's right. I'll check out Cow for you again. I looked at it for you the other day. Let's have another look at it. Cow Protocol, look at that, up 107% on the day. Yes, fantastic call, my friend. Fantastic call. I dig it, man. I dig it. It's a DEX, right? It's a DEX on Ethereum. I just would want to know what sets it apart from other DEX on Ethereum. $2.22 was the all-time high 2 years ago. It's got some decent listings. Yeah, good call, man. You made a solid call on this one. What was it, yesterday or the day before when you mentioned it? It was a good call, brother. Good call, Nacho. Lord of the Realm, what's up, buddy? Good afternoon. Another all-time high for Bitcoin. Yes, guys, Make sure you hit the like and subscribe to the channel. It helps the channel grow, and it definitely means a lot. Les, good morning, buddy. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Lord of the Realm, thank God this election didn't get dragged out for weeks. Yes, no kidding. Guys, we're going to have an interesting conversation about how this election played out over on the Patreon. As soon as this live stream is done, I do a Zoom group call over there where we all get together and talk. So, guys, you got to get over there and join the conversation. I'm telling you. Big Kev's in the house. What's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. Let the bull run start. Trump pump. Lord of the Realm says, let's get this crypto future live pump effect. Yes, 78K. What are we at now? 75, almost 75.7. Looking good, man. Chris, America might actually have a chance at getting out of the devil's grasp for 4 years. Yes, for 4 years. Green Tea, what's up? Big Dog, Nicholas, good to see you, brother. Haas is in the house. What's good, man? Studio Tech broken another new all-time high again. BTC, absolutely. Nicholas, today my manager that's an a-hole said Bitcoin's dead. Yeah, dead shot for a moonshot. Funky, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. Isaac, what's good, buddy? All-time highs, baby. Yes, feeling good. Dumb money, Rob. What might your conservative price on mobile be? I said before, anywhere between, I know it's I would say like 5 to 10 cents is where I would be targeting to exit. William, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. As always, my friend. Cause making moves. Let's go over to the bubbles and see how Cause do. Actually, I got it over here anyway. Let's look at Cause. Crow with knife, yes, up 22.5% on the day. Nice, very nice. Beeb, Scam, what's up, Scam? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Bruno, what's up, buddy? Do I see a sell-off after this pump? Seems like there's so much FOMO going on. I mean, at some point, there'll obviously be profit taking, right? Where that will be at this point in time, I have no idea. We haven't even closed one daily candle yet since the election finished. So what I would say is I want to see how the next couple of daily candles close and how the weekly candle closes before I can get a bead on what it's going to look like, right? So maybe by Monday or Sunday night, I'll have a little bit of a better idea of what's going on based on the charts. Yo, Lily, let's frickin' go. Good to see you. Good to see you. Trump won. JASMY, amongst other projects, are on the way up. And more importantly, my love came back to me. Nice, brother. Nice. Simon, what's up, buddy? I think what people fail to understand about this bull run is no one knows how high the price will go. What it comes down to is how much exposure does the alts get from liquidity entering the industry? Well, I mean, yes and no. I mean, we also, if you've been around for a while, you can also play off of experience. And like I said before, I would venture to say about 75%, maybe higher, 75, 85% of altcoins will go into price discovery mode. I find that the only things that stop altcoins from going back to their all-time highs and into price discovery mode, there's only a couple things that will prevent that. The first thing is, did the team and project develop and continue to build through the bear market? If they didn't, then team members have left and they haven't developed anything, then the project generally will not even get close to its last all-time high, and it will die off. The second thing would be, did they dilute their circulating supply through the bear market? Some projects like HBAR and Sandbox did, so they'll have a harder time getting back to their all-time highs. Projects like XCN have not watered down their supply, and same thing with JASMY. Their supply is already in circulation. So, well, JASMY is actually another example of a project that will not get back to its all-time high this bull run, right? It will in the future, but not this time. So projects like XCN, however, who have not diluted their supply, will get back through their all-time highs and into price discovery mode, in my opinion, right? So there are extenuating circumstances and details that tend to matter when it comes to that kind of thing, right? So, dumb money. I'm sure people are taking profits, but what's your opinion on MAGA hat? actually hold your thoughts on that, Dumb Money, because for MAGA Hat, we're going to be talking about it over on the Patreon in the group chat this afternoon. So make sure you are here for that, and we will have a look, brother. Trump, baby. Absolutely, Richard Rich. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Let that sink in. Yes, that was legendary by Elon. Everyone's getting fired with Elon there. Yes. Oh, yeah, Rob, I have to say, you shaved off about 10 years. Yeah, man, I look like 10 years younger all of a sudden, right? That's crazy. That is crazy. Wismine, please kick Gary Gensler out live for the crypto community. Yeah, that would be amazing. I'd love to watch him walk out with his box of doodads. Enzo in the house. In the meantime, new all-time high for Bitcoin. Hello, boys and girls. What's up, brother? Good to see you, man. Studio Tech, Rob, a lot of people are very happy now. Being patient is the key. Yes, that's it. That's exactly it. Patience right now has never been more important. BTC going to 150K, no doubt, 2025. I agree with you there, man. I agree. That's a nice conservative target. Liquidity waking up to a catalyst feels good. Finally, some real good signs, and we have rate cuts tomorrow. Now we need altcoin season. Altcoin season, I think, is probably going to start in January, I'm going to guess. BTC all-time high. Elon is the man, 100%. James, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. Congratulations to everyone who has DCA'd and held onto their bags the past few years. Our time has come. Yes, exactly. McGregor coin, nice. Chimichanga, nice. Rob, you're no longer Father Christmas. This pump makes you look young. Bull run getting closer and closer. Yes, absolutely. Alexander, it's on Coin. Yes, it's on. Okay, so we looked at that project already. A hair under 76K. Let's go. Guys, it's entirely possible we break 80K tonight or get close to it. You know, we'll have to see what happens. Now crypto's going to get some attention. Yes, absolutely. 76K, 100 ain't that far. Jeremiah, what's up, family? Good to see you, man. Big Kev, how high do you think BTC can go this month? Moonboy, then conservative. I mean, I'm going to say, you know, conservatively, we'll say around 80, 85K, I think we could hit. Moonboy, 90, 95. That's what I'd say. Tesla, yes, Tesla. Tola, what is going on? Dumb Money, there's no reason to panic now that Trump is in the Oval Office. Yes. Well, here's the problem with that, Dumb Money, is the Democrats now have about 75 days to do as much damage as they can, right? So does this mean that Gary Gensler is going to start throwing out lawsuits like Tic Tacs, doing as much damage as he can, knowing that he's on his way out? It may very well be possible that he's thinking, I'm going to be a bull in a china shop at this point in time and just smash everything that I can before I leave. We'll see what happens, right? Because Elizabeth Warren won her election against John Deaton, so maybe he's going to vie to work with Elizabeth Warren in some way, right? We'll have to see. Beebs, Rob, I've owned a BTC since 15K. My question to you is, do you take profits eventually, or do you never sell? I understand. When it comes to Bitcoin, Beebs, I never sell my Bitcoin. I never take profits on it. And I know it sounds strange, but I believe with conviction that Bitcoin is going to be $1 million a coin. That is when I will sell, or even when we get close to that. If we get even close to $1 million a coin, that's when I will sell. So I'm targeting selling my Bitcoin for probably around 2033, 2034's bull run, maybe one cycle after that. That's when I think Bitcoin will roughly get to $1 million. I only sell my altcoins, and then I continue to accumulate Bitcoin. So, and then I don't sell my Bitcoin. I ride my Bitcoin all the way up, and then I ride it all the way back down again. It's a long-term game for me when it comes to my Bitcoin. I just consider it part of my, net worth. right? So long-term investment. So, but all right, guys, listen, it's been about almost 2 hours now. That's the news. I will be over live on the Patreon doing a group Zoom call in a little bit. So make sure you guys get over there and join the Patreon. Join us for the Zoom call. We're going to be talking about some of the swing trades we've been doing, and we're going to be talking about a couple of other things. So do not miss it, guys. You can also book one-on-one Zoom calls with me personally, where I will help you out with your portfolio. I'll help you out with your exit plans, your profit taking, compounding your gains, all kinds of things like that, guys. So get over there. The link is in the chat. It's in the pinned comments. It's in the description. I will see you guys over on the Patreon. See you guys later. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel as well.